well, it was a new wave of consuming electronics and a new form of entertainment. There was also something around called quadraphonic. It never took off. It was about um, four speakers, and you had the sound around around the room. But it had been overseeded by a thing called surround sound. So now we got four speakers and a bass speaker, so it's 5.1 or 4.1. You got 6.1, you got 7.1. So you got, so now you not only have you got four speakers around you, you got four speakers up on the ceiling, you got a mid speaker in front and a mid speaker in back, and you got a bass speaker, subwoofer, right? And that is, I mean, if you're really up to with your stuff, you know, how many speakers was that? Four on the ceiling, four on the ground, plus two, 4 on 4 is 8, 9, 10, plus the bass, right? So that's 11 speakers, 11 amplifiers, 10 basic amplifiers, one amplifier driving the bass. So this is where we're at with sound. It's London town. I pay those guys a lot of money to do that, and they're right on time as well, you know. So a little bit of London town there. For those of you watching in the America, in Africa, in the Caribbean, the Asias, as in China. I don't know why you call them Asia. China, India. To get political now, these words, Asian, and it's to deny you of your true identity. You know, they class you in one, and they don't recognize you as an individual. It's the same way when they call you black, right? They class you in one, they class you in a certain way, they don't recognize you as an individual. So they take away your individual identity and your individual power to, and also it helps. It is part of a system to actually restrict you in order to fulfill your full potential, you know. But here's what: if you are in a society and you're participating in a society, right, and you're part of that society, it doesn't matter from whence you came or where you came. If you're fully functional within that society and you attain and achieve the highest level you can, then that society itself actually benefits. Now, if you're constantly restricting different sections of your society, you're actually restricting yourself in the ability to win in whatever race you perceive you're in. Okay, a good example is America, black music industry. Don't talk about Michael Jackson, don't talk about James Brown, don't talk about Jay-Z, don't talk about Beyonce, right? Still in that restrictive world, right, they've managed to break through and still have their identity. So back to calling people Asian and these, it's kind of derogatory and people don't even figure it out, right? Or even calling a person black. Right now, that is controversial, but here's what. How could you call a whole block of people, right, from Africa, from the Caribbean, from America, from Britain, how could you use one word to describe them? You cannot use one word to describe them. You're using one word to demonize and derogatizing them. And a lot of people haven't realized that yet, right? Each person has their own identity, right? And you are denied your own identity when you're called a certain term which encompasses people from America, the Caribbean, Africa, the UK. It denies you your identity. So these block identities of people is not good. Anyway, here we are, back in London. It's forever growing, right? And while before the recession, this here was being built, and you can see it was on a phenomenal growth. the economy and investments, but it's not for me and you. Here's one. When I say me and you, I mean I'm assuming that you're from a certain socio-economic situation, and if you're not in that, I don't know what it is, the money class, or I don't think it's even educational, because even if you go and you get yourself a degree, doesn't mean you're going to get a job, because there are a lot of people doing a lot of menial jobs, actually highly qualified. I don't know if you could see, but there's a protest just outside the station there, right? Now, I believe it's about the Hong Kong. No, I'm making a guess. I haven't read the flag. I don't think is it a protest or is it just violent? But for me to find out, I've got to go and ask them and interview them. If I say anything, it'll be just pure speculation. But anyway, happy science. Is that the Scientology group? Is that the Scientology group, which has the headquarters down there, and they've been there for like, I don't know, like 50 years or so. Anyway, so back to the constant building and rebuilding of London. It is really looking at the density of the building there. It is really dense. All right, that's the main station there. But behind it is like that building just back there used to be called Astoria. And many times, Flip Fraser, by the way, Flip Fraser had his Today is Monday, the 20th of July. Monday, the 20th of July, 2020, London. Where are we? This is Tottenham, or North London. This is outside of the Tottenham Hotspurs football stadium. It looks like it's 100,000 seater. Arsenal looks like a 60,000 seater. It's feeling like 100,000 different. I haven't been around it or inside it or anything. It is literally about a year, 12 months. Actually, I'm not even sure they've actually played a match in here yet. Hi, have they played a match in there yet? Have they played a match in there yet? No. Alright, he doesn't know. So, I don't even think they played a match in there yet. So, brand new stadium. Well, if you're a Tottenham Hotspurs, then yeah, I think they have played a few matches in there. Yes, they have. But like, it's literally 12 months since it's opened. This is absolutely brand new, and probably the newest football stadium in the whole of the UK. I don't know if any other stadium's been built maybe Chelsea down there, Fulham Palace Road, Chelsea. I think they had some negotiations or some kind of problem with trying to get permission. The Chelsea area and Chelsea Football Club is a very exclusive, expensive area. Now, probably not so much in the older days, but a lot more now. Anyway, so today is Monday, the 20th of July 2020. The 4th of July was the day when we had about 80% of the restrictions taken away. So today is almost the beginning of the third week after the lockdown, and the whole idea is to get back to normality, or the new normal plus. And so far it's the new normal plus masks, plus gloves, plus washing your hands, plus keeping your distance, plus staying away from people with crowds. But I'm finding, and I'm seeing people finding it very, very hard to do that. But from this Friday, in the UK, no, not in the UK, UK stands for United Kingdom. At this moment, we're actually a divided kingdom in the such that England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. And this is only for England. So from Friday, on all London transport and inside of when you go shopping, you've got to wear a mask. If not, you're going to get fined, and that is compulsory. It's been mandated and it's compulsory, so that's starting from this Friday. So far, normality for some people is a bit less, it's half as much as it was before, because you got to keep social distancing, the space in between clients, so it's almost you could only spend you could only produce half a day's work, half a day's work, because the time it takes for each client, or the distances for each client, and the spacing for each client, it takes half a day work. So you can only earn about half your day's money compared to the usual, right? But there's so many interesting things happening. One of the things are with the restaurants. Now the restaurants are saying people are booking but not turning up, and some restaurants now are, I don't know what you say, fining people, but there's a booking fee, and if you don't turn up, you pay that. But the restaurants could only work at half capacity because they could only. Okay, so here we are in Hackney Market. So tell me, bro, what's today all about? What's the flyers and what's everybody doing today?
So we're having a stall. We're just doing some outreach on Ridley Road. We're the Hackney branch of London Renters Union, which is a union for tenants, for renters in London, for people to come together to face their housing issues together.
I want to get the market in the background. Yeah.
To face their housing issue, I keep going.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, market, renters, and so what is the main problems is it that renters have today?
Well, at the moment with coronavirus, and with a lot of people...
you want to drop the mask down a bit, because that's going to muffle up some of the sound. Then we can see how pretty you are, All right. Yeah, so as you're saying...
at the moment with coronavirus, there's a lot of people who are in rent debt, and there's a lot of people who are worried about being evicted. There's been an eviction ban for the last few months, but a lot of people are worried about being evicted after August 31st. After the end of August, and so we're worried that there will be an eviction crisis because landlords, there's been a ban on evictions for the last few months, and suddenly there won't be, and a lot of landlords will be evicting their tenants, like a lot. And so we're also facing a lot of illegal evictions at the moment, even though evictions are banned for the time being, and just a lot of people who are in like high amounts of rent arrears because they haven't been able to work because of coronavirus. And a lot of things like people not being able to get their deposits back, and people who are in houses that are not safe, where there's mold and there's damp and the landlord won't fix it. And like London Renters Union is a place where people can come and talk about their housing issues with each other. They can collectively combat those housing issues like mutually. So essentially it's like mutual aid. We call it member solidarity, where members will be in solidarity with each other, and if somebody's facing eviction, another member who might have faced eviction in the past will support that member. And we do eviction resistance, we do trainings about renters' rights, and we basically just, it's like community like mutual support for renters in Hackney. And also we have branches in Lewisham and Newham as well.
No, it's serious. It's very serious. I heard about it, and I'm glad to know you brothers. Is there a communication connection, website, Facebook?
We have a website. I mean, we also have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well.
All right, tell us how.
So it's all if London Renters Union, you can find. So there's like London Renters Union org. There you go. London Renters Union.
You guys got a Twitter feed and stuff?
We've got Twitter. And you can. It's all the same like logo and everything. So London Renters Union. You'll find our Twitter. You'll find our Instagram. You'll find our Facebook. Yeah.
All right. And on a more personal note, the market. I heard the market was. They were trying to.
So actually, the Hackney branch of London Renters Union is in solidarity with the Save Ridley Road campaign. Which I'm also
tell us
part
about what they had planned for Ridley Road. This lovely market behind you.
Yeah. So I mean, like down there's the little indoor market, and that's under threat currently. There's a developer who wants to develop that building where the little indoor market is down. Just a little ways down Ridley Road, the shopping village is called, and there's a developer who wants to turn that into like luxury flats and some hipster office space and some like little shops that don't cater to the local community. And we know that if that happened, that would be something that would increase a lot of other gentrification of the market in general. There's also like way more restrictions on traders at the moment from the council, so they're just being like, a lot of that stuff has tightened up and they're finding it a lot harder to trade. There's a lot of problems where a lot of the issues in the market are not being like addressed by the council, and there's also a so you can't promise £1 million to the market, but there's not really been a very clear or like people would like a clearer consultation about where that money is going to be spent and how it's going to be spent on the traders. A lot of people on the market are just worried about the market being socially cleansed or gentrified and being turned to a place maybe more similar to Broadway Market, where it used to be a market that catered more to the working class community and had affordable foods and affordable like products and stuff, where now it's more like artisan and like it has more like hipster products and things, and people are worried about that on Ridley Road. Yeah.
All right, now for people watching in America and New York and stuff, a little bit of history about this market. What's so special about this market?
It's one of the oldest markets in London.
And in relation to the black community here who is disappearing slowly.
Huge.
No, tell us a little bit.
So because of the high rents in Hackney that are raising a lot of the black community and the like black working class community are being displaced from Hackney, and